Hi, I'm Ken, and this is Roots and Peaks. Today, we're going to talk about why you aren't hiking yet. Now we can change that. Ready? Let's start with an important question. Do you want to hike, but just can't seem to pull it together? Let me guess, there always seems to be a reason why you don't go. Too hot, friend bailed, a raccoon found its way into your bed. We all know you invited that raccoon to snuggle. Don't blame the innocent. I've scientifically determined the top 5 reasons why you haven't gone on a hiking adventure yet. Number 1, you just don't know where to go. Number 2, you don't have a friend to hike with. Number 3, you don't have the gear. Number 4, you weigh too much or are too out of shape. And number 5, you've never done it before, so you don't know how. So let's start at the beginning with number 1. You just don't know where to go. Well, that's scary, but I have a super easy solution that will make it less intimidating. It's a dirty word. Ready for it? It's called research. It's not as impossible as it sounds. I generally use 3 sources to find a good hike, and they're all free and easy to use. Number 1, use the interweebs. If you're just starting out and have no ideas, Google family-friendly hikes in my area. Almost any family-friendly hike would be a good first hike to see if you even like this hobby. Googling will usually bring you to some great blogs about hiking. Many will have lists of trails that are awesome for one reason or another. Waterfalls, a great view, a dead body on the railroad tracks. That's a Stephen King list, sorry. Number 2, search the same thing on YouTube, except pick an area. For instance, I might search best family-friendly hikes in the White Mountains because I live in New Hampshire. Watch a few videos and you might find something that you want to explore. Or if you already found a hike that you've identified, YouTubing that specific hike can help you learn about parking or any things you need to avoid while on the trail. 3, lastly, once you've identified the potential hike, search for it on alltrails.com. All Trails has an amazing community, and you'll be able to read comments about your potential hike from people who have done it recently. You'll also be able to read about how someone hated the hike. There's always one, and that might be good information for you to have. For instance, the person might hate beavers, which is a weird thing to have a hatred for, but let's say they did, and on the hike that you were looking at, a beaver attacked them. That's something you'd certainly want to know about. Oh no! It looks like you can no longer say, I just don't know where to go. You Googled that. Congratulations. Next up, you just don't have a friend to hike with. Yep, that's a bummer. But lots of people are in the same situation. And the good news is there are 2 really easy solutions to this problem. Number 1, find a group or use a guide. Meetup groups happen all the time. Remember, there's a lot of people out there in the same situation. They want to try hiking, but they don't want to do it alone. So check on meetups.com or with your local hiking organizations. If you're in New England, a great resource is AMC. They do guided hikes all the time. It's a few bucks, but you have the advantage of walking with someone who can teach you along the way. Number 2, embrace hiking alone. This might not be for you, and if the idea makes you uncomfortable, see option 1. But I personally love hiking alone. And if you hike on a well-traveled trail, you really won't be alone. With most beginner hikes, you're going to see a lot of people on the trail, and all of them are friendly. There's something about hiking that brings out the best in people. It may be all that raccoon cuddling. A note about this, always check the weather before you head out. If it doesn't look good, go another day. Don't try to power through. Bad weather is no joke, and it's sure to make your first hike your only hike. Nice. That problem is solved. Now you either have a group of new friends or you're comfortable being a recluse, like me. Next, you don't have the gear. I'm guessing you've watched a lot of YouTube content on hiking. Maybe you went down the rabbit hole of ultralight backpacking gear, or maybe you've seen one too many videos about how you need trekking poles. The truth is, there is value to all those conversations, but only once you've hiked enough to know what you need and want. I'm going to break down the 5 requirements you must have to hike, and I bet you already have most of them. Ready? Number 1, you need a good pair of comfortable shoes with solid tread. You don't need to buy hiking boots or trail runners. Use a pair of sneakers you have. Easy. Number 2, you need to wear clothing appropriate for the weather. You can layer if it's cold, but you don't need a bunch of fancy clothes to start with. Wear what you have, and remember, you will sweat, so bring some layers and options, and avoid cotton if you have other materials. If you don't, wear the cotton. You'll be okay. You might also want to have a change of clothes you can leave in your car. Number 3, you need a backpack. And you probably have a simple old school style backpack lying around. But if you don't, buy a cheap backpack. Seriously, like a $20 backpack will be fine. You just need something to hold the items below. Number 4, you need snacks and more water than you think you'll need. So, a water bottle or 2 and some granola, maybe even lunch. Don't bring a ton of food or a stove. You don't need that on your first hike. Just pack a PB&J unless you're allergic. If you're allergic, just bring a mountain of sun butter, because that will keep you going. Number 5, you need a way to navigate, but it can be your phone or another GPS device. Spend $30 on AllTrails or Onyx so you can download maps so that even if you don't have internet connection on the trail, they'll work. They're so easy to use. They're basically like a navigation system for your car, except on a hiking trail. Alternatively, you could bring a map printout from the internet and a compass, but if you do, make sure you know how to use a compass. If you don't, having a map is pretty pointless. That's it. That's all you need. And if you have 0 of those things, I bet you could borrow most of them from a friend. If you have to buy them, it might cost you $100, and you can reuse them for a long, long time. So now you have the gear, because you pilfered it off the bedroom floor. What's next? Oh, you weigh too much or are out of shape. Welcome to the club. Well, you might weigh a lot. You might also not be able to do a single sit-up. But you know what the beauty of hiking is? It's just walking. If you can walk or roll, you can find a hiking path that will get you out into nature. Side note, hiking is literally just walking on a path, even if the path is flat. Don't let the word hike intimidate you. Okay, here are a few key things you need to consider if you are extremely rotund or if you have major injuries. Number 1, everyone understands distance, but not everyone thinks about elevation gain or loss. If you're just starting out, you should look for a hike that doesn't have a big climb. Make it a flat hike, and then add some climbing later if you want a challenge. Usually the climbing part will be indicated as vertical gain. You're looking for something with less than 200 feet to start with. Number 2, the terrain you are walking on will make a big difference. Starting out on a gravel path or a rail trail might be just the ticket. You want to avoid boulders or very rough paths when you're starting out or if you have a leg or ankle injury. Those terrains will put a ton of extra stress on your body. Keep it simple to start. Nice! Seems like you're done fat shaming yourself, and you're all ready for the next obstacle. You've never done this before, and you don't know how. Well, first of all, you're watching this, so you know more now than you did 10 minutes ago. Secondly, if you know how to walk, you know how to hike. Adaptive hiking is more complicated, but still totally doable. Maybe a topic for another video if people are interested. But if you have 2 functional legs, hiking starts by walking. You are just in a different environment. So here's what you need to do. Number 1, plan your hike by making sure it's a path you're interested in, and make sure your physical ability matches the terrain you've picked. If you don't know, ask. Number 2, choose to hike alone, in a group, with a friend, and then make a plan and watch the weather. Number 3, make sure you have shoes, a shirt, pants, a backpack, water, and a map or GPS. Number 4, put one foot in front of the other. And a bonus, put on bug spray and sunscreen. Fear is all that's holding you back. With the right knowledge, fear is powerless. You've just got to get over that anxiety you've been building up and stop making excuses. Go, get out there. And if you have any questions, ask in the comments or find some hiking forums/communities local to you. Well, that was a lot, and I've got a date with a raccoon. I hope this has been helpful, and I really hope you get out into nature and take a freaking hike. Good sign off? No? If this was useful for you, please subscribe and click the bell. If you have any ideas for future videos, please let me know. And thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Watch some other videos. They're probably posted around here somewhere. I don't know this YouTube thing yet. Help me out. Bye.